Hello there, YouTube. We are back with some more Matchplay commentary for y'all. I'm joined by the Brother Bear, the Highwayman himself, Bald Gnome with the Dome, TJ.
Why does watermelon flavoring taste so different from actual watermelon?
You know, I've always wondered the same thing, actually.
Like, why is it like, yeah.
I
it's
blocked that away from my memory.
Here's watermelon. All right, now here's watermelon flavoring. It tastes nothing like watermelon.
But as we ponder this age-old question, we've got some decks from 2.0 to showcase for you guys. As we said in the other video, we did print out some proxies, so we've got some new match play for you folks. Hopefully you do enjoy it. Today's matchup will be TJ and myself playing Susano, which is me, versus Millenniummon on the right. Both are sort of big pro tag characters, so it should be an interesting matchup. The new hybrid stuff is a bit of a twist from the old BT7 days, so I definitely had some fun testing it out. I'm a big hybrid guy, so the new mechanics were interesting to me, and I've been having a lot of fun just playtesting it. And I know you've been looking forward to Millenni for a little bit now.
Yes, I'm very excited for the deck. I'm still sad that we don't have the Shademon. I'll go over that more during the match though, but it's fun. It's very fun.
BB Dude said that in his stream yesterday too, so shout out BB Dudes. If you don't know, fellow content creator, great guy. And another shout out would be for DigiPanda, once again, for these awesome thumbnails. So hopefully you guys are enjoying it. Send us your feedback down below, along with checking out our socials, all that link in the video descriptions to kind of become members to our channel, our Discord, all that good stuff. But enough yapping from me over here. Let's hop right into the round.
So how are you liking the new hybrid stuff?
You know, I'm enjoying it. At first I thought it was like sort of meh, because there is a lot of setup that kind of goes into it, right? You know, you kind of have to put all your tamers out. You're very reliant on getting hybrids tucked in. But I think because that's how they advertised it, I sort of tunnel visioned into it. The more I play it, the more it feels a lot more toolboxy for me, which I'm actually enjoying a lot. I still think it kind of lacks the speed to keep up with stuff like Purple Lord Knight, right? The Cerberus engine and all that, and like Imperial, yada yada. But no, it's been a fun time. I've been enjoying it.
Nice. Okay. Cool. Yeah. No, it looks like it's just like it wants to snowball.
Yeah.
Which is neat. It's cool. I do wish that it's man. I really wish that they weren't making entirely new hybrid decks and they were making hybrids that, like, you know, at least, or more for the most part, actually supported other hybrid engines. Some do. Like Tommy's is still pretty in sync. I would say obviously Takuya's is still pretty in sync. Koji, Koichi's still very much in sync, but like JP and why am I forgetting the girl's name? Help me. Zoe, they're completely,
they're terrible.
They're different. They're just completely out of they're out of their new stuff entirely.
But just to catch people up to speed, we did a little bit of setup. I forgot that Delta had blocker off of the Giza inheritable. So I swang, probably could have kept the flame in the back for other turns, but you know, we did the thing. I played out a Boko to search, which was pretty good. I was able to pick up, I believe it was a Burning Gray and a double tamer with the Takuya and the Koji, which is a decent card. It is an expensive drop as a 5-drop tamer, but like you said, like after you get set up, those two boys snowball like no other. It's crazy what they do.
They do. So right now I'm just debating on what to do. So I'm having a little bit of indecision. I'm just trying to I was trying to look at combo stuff because it's weird how you want to combo this deck. I end up going into Chimera. This Chimera lets me delete one of my Digimon to delete one of my opponent's level 3, 4, and 5 level Digimon. So I end up just popping the Gazi, and then thanks to the Pagumon Inheritable, I'm able to grab the Gazi back because it was deleted by means other than battle.
Sure.
Chunky to 1, which is pretty good.
And then I just go flame and drop a Tommy. So to kind of go over some of these tamer effects here, so Zoe, but all of them are not memory setters outside of the Takuya and Koji, but Zoe allows you to pitch a hybrid in trash from your hand to draw one. Tommy lets you do the same by pitching a card from your hand to trash with the hybrid in trades. You go ahead and gain a memory. So again, with the basic premise of like putting them in the trash so that you could eventually tuck them in with Takuya and Koji. I think earlier on when I was testing, I was very like tunnel visioned into just like getting as many hybrids in trash and just tucking. But the more I started playing, I'm like, I could actually do some decent things with just the tamers themselves. So I think it's like sort of like you said the other video, like micro decisions, right? It's like, do you choose to use them or do you just choose to tuck? So
yeah, it's the game as we go longer and longer. Like there's so many like it was already a big thing in Digimon, I think, with micro decisions of just like being very precise with like what cards you were using for what. But even the further the game moves on, the more it's just like, I pitched this card earlier. Okay, that was the entirely wrong decision, and I have now lost the game because of that decision.
Yep. So you do go into Delta, yeah.
Yeah, I go ahead and pitch a card. I don't clear your Uko. This is just to grab a card back. So I pitch a Delta to add back the... I don't actually remember what I grabbed there. It's hard to see. Sorry. When we were setting up the recording spot, it's weird. The camera itself like showed more of the map, but when we hit record, it focused in.
Yeah.
It made it smaller.
But I go ahead and push up the flame, pick up a Kuma off of the search. And I forget to hatch, but I think I catch that here in a quick second. Yeah. Then we go ahead and string out our tamer effects. Trashing one to draw, and then trashing one for Tommy to gain a memory. So pretty, I think, just good cycle here, and then I just drop the double tamer.
Yeah, pretty good. Just setting it up. I go ahead. I finally am in a spot to do my combo stuff here, so I go into Chimera. I on Evo delete that Chimeramon to pop one of yours. That Chimera will let me delete another Digimon to play out a Machinedramon from my trash. So I go ahead and spit out a Machinedramon here to kind of get a little bit of setup. On play, he would de-Digivolve all of your Digimon, but there's nothing to de-Digivolve, so that does not matter. Oh no, sorry, that's the deletion one. I apologize. That's the one that's on play deletes everything. And then I go ahead. I have to just go ahead and DNA here. I ask what levels you have in your trash. Because Millenniummon has the cool thing of one Digivolving. I can delete one of your opponent's Digimon, and then if DNA Digivolving, I can return one Digimon of each level to the top of my opponent's deck to go ahead and gain one memory for each card returned. So since I've returned 3 cards, so level 3, level 4, and level 5, I am able to go ahead and gain 3 memory. I need to see. I actually don't know if you can return Digitama off that. I don't think you can.
That'd be interesting, yeah.
But I mean, it's technically it's not. I don't know. They're weird because they're not technically treated as Digimon, so it's. I don't think you can.
Yeah.
But it would be neat if you
but it's an interesting mechanic. You do 2 checks. You hit 1 double tamer, which is pretty huge for me, and then a Zephyr.
Yeah.
And you drop an Analog Youth just for more setup. You can pick up here.
Oh, Nene. Oh, Nene.
So you pick up another Millennia. And then you drop a Nene.
I drop a Nene myself. So I'm just like, I need to also have a memory setter out here now, because otherwise it's going to be choke city from you with how you play. Listen, the second you have memory setter on board, you're just like, okay, I know exactly how to choke. You're very good with your memory utilization. It's a compliment.
So we go ahead and push up. Now we can proc some crazy things here. So we go ahead. I believe we did not choose to do the Zoe. We chose Tommy to pitch one. And then Takuya and Koji allow me to tuck 1 to start. But then for every other tamer that I have in play, I can add 2 to the maximum number of hybrids I can tuck underneath them. Caveat being, they have to be of different names. So if I am going to go to tuck, I can't tuck like 2 Kazes and 2 Zephyrs. Like, I have to be 2 different names. Or all of them have to be different names. But as you can see, I just sort of started tucking my hybrids in and move forward. And then I think I just dropped another one of them bad boys.
I do swing. I lose the Gazi on the swing. And it's at this point that I'm realizing I kind of messed up. I thought I had a way to game turn, because I thought I could have. I thought Millennia evoed for 1 over Millennia for some reason, but it evos for 2. So I would pass turn no matter what I do here. So I'm just like, oh, shoot. And I was just like, I should have left my Gazi up to just sort of Evo, probably pop the Flame on or something like that if I could have. I actually don't think I had any Deltamons, though. I think a lot of my level 4s... No, that's another game. So I just go ahead and I start searching. I do find a Delta, which is pretty good. I think I was debating on just dropping that guy.
Yeah, yeah. And then the Machine Drumon's pretty nice in this too, with the ability to redirect.
Yeah, it gives you the sustain that you need.
Just makes that bad boy even more stickier than he already is. But I think, yeah, you just drop another Nene.
Yeah.
Put me to my 3.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not too worried about the Flamemon. I was like, because I know that, like, if I put you up to too much memory, you're going to be able to just, like, go banana bonkers.
Yeah.
So right here, you're sort of checking for the redirect stuff and everything like that. The good thing for me is that your deck doesn't really OTK outside of, like, a crazy Susano play with a bunch of memory. But I felt like I was in a pretty okay spot.
So we decide to pitch Flame using Zoe's effect to draw 1. Looks like here we will decide to pitch a Die Pen to gain 1 memory. And I think I'm debating if I wanted to do another one with Tommy. But I think here I choose not to. We just decide to start my main phase. So we go Kuma for 2 here on top of the Tommy, allowing me to trash bottom 2. Then we go Alda for 1, because it is technically with a hybrid over a Tamer, so I can reduce Evo for 1. Attempt to swing. We do die. So I get to play the Tommy out off of Kuma's effect. And we do use the option now, which is a 3-cost option to let me tuck up to 5 hybrids from trash in hand underneath one of my Tamers, and then something with 5 sources, a Tamer with 5 sources, can go ahead and Evo into an Emperor Gray. We just choose to do one big stack here.
Yeah, this is all the same stack. It's just didn't have enough table space for how big it was.
So I go into Emperor.
Inheritals matter.
Yeah. So we go into Emperor. We strip sources because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 colors in sources. We can go ahead and attack.
Swing for 2 checks, I think. No, just 1 check because you're not deleting a Digimon.
Yep.
And then turn goes over to me. 1. I should be unsuspended. Yeah. And then I was like, okay, well, if he has a Susano Ace, it's bad, but at the same time, Susano Ace just deletes. It's the one attacking effect that lets you return Tamers and gain memory, right?
Correct.
So I was like, you know what? I think it's fine. Because I'm sitting here trying to think if there's a way for me to get around the stack with that before checking the Susano Ace. But realistically, I'm just kind of overthinking. I don't really need to worry about it too much. And Millenniummon is cool. Millenniummon also has a cool thing where he's kind of just a bomb. Like if you delete him, if they pop him,
he just spits himself back out.
Yeah, I bottom deck a Machine Dramon and a Chimeramon from my trash, put him at the bottom of the deck, and then I'm able to just play Machine Dramon or Chimeramon back out. Technically, in this part here, I did not do it as efficiently as I could have. I could have tapped the Nenes to Digicross for him being played back out. I believe so, at least. I'm pretty sure I could have tapped an Nenes to Digicross for him being played back out, so I could have went ahead and tucked a Machine and a Chimera under him again if I had more in the trash. I actually don't think I had another Machine in the trash, though.
You have Delta here, and then Gazi. Or Giza.
Yeah, I kind of just set up. I just set up a wide board. Want to make sure that I have composite trait Digimon on board so I can do some crazy things if need be. Because my idea was that I can go ahead and end of overclock with Z Millennium on the following turn if for some reason I need to swing twice. And you go ahead and you're kind of just stuck. You're just stuck on Tame as an option, so you go ahead and scoop.
Yep.
You can go to game 2.
Go to game 2. How are you liking Millennium? Because I know this, you've been excited for it, and now you have it.
Okay.
What do you feel about it?
So I know we were saying this earlier, and I think we said it off cam about BB Dude saying the same thing. Shout out to BB Dudes again. It hurts not having the Shademon. Like I know not everybody is on the Shademon. In the case for the people that are unaware, there was a card released in BT19 that was a Shademon that was could Digicross with a Nene. So you could play it, Digicross with a Nene, put it under it. And it had the on-play of reveal top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 card with the Twilight or Composite trait among them to the hand, trash the rest. So it's really good for setting up your trash. It's very good for just searching out a card. It was a 3-drop level 4, which also can come up very clutch. And then on deletion, you can play a Nene Amano from your trash without paying the cost, then save. So the cool thing is that even if you didn't have your Nene in sources, and she got trashed from security or something like that, or got deleted, you could, have this card die by swinging into security. It's only 4k DP, unless it's like Izamon jamming, which it could be, but, you could swing, die, play the Nene back out, and then you have your Tamer back. And Nene does let you Digicross with composite trait, so it's very, very good. It's very nice. So it's just like a nice little extra booster, because admittedly, like, the promo Deltamon is not great. It can't Evo over your extra purple Gazimon. It's a 3-cost Evo no matter what. The 2-cost reduction on it can be okay, but you kind of want the blocker and retail inheritables a lot of times.
Sure.
Those can very much come up. But overall, I am liking it. I am having fun with the deck. I am looking forward to learning it more, because the combo to climb up into Millennium is hard. It is hard to structure out the play to get there, because there's so many little specific beats you need to hit, and you need to hit a certain Machinedramon, and you need to hit a certain Chimeramon, and it can just be kind of weird.
Yeah. But to catch people up to speed, you essentially just set up a Delta to pop one of my little guys. I had another Boko ready to go, so we swing. Checked an analog, and I have a Zoe just to set up, and you go ahead and Chimera here.
Yep. And I'm going to delete the Chimera to go ahead. I delete the Deltamon to go ahead and play out the machine, and I tap analog use to gain a memory. So I just put you over to 3. And I have a Machinedramon on board. My thought process was like, okay, this is pretty decent. I'm gonna having the Machinedramon on board is pretty good. I do wish that we had a rookie that just had an end of turn DNA inheritable, because some of these plays can cost a lot of memory.
Yeah.
I know the idea is that the on deletions let you DNA past turn, but you have to sort of set up your board state to be very specific.
So this card here is really good.
Daipen Supremacy. Daipen's such a good Digimon.
Daipen
that
is
card
very,
is honestly
very good.
slept on. It is so slept on.
I'm definitely bumping him up in any deck I can sprinkle him into. Very, very good card. For those of you who are kind of watching the sequencing, Kaze on Evo lets me suspend something, so I suspended the machine. But then Daipen evolves for 3 on top of any red or blue hybrid over a Tamer, and pops anything on Evo without a source. It's pretty darn good.
Yeah. And he himself
has Ice Clad.
Ice Clad, which is phenomenal. He honestly, genuinely, for your Tommy Hexablaw deck, your Tommy hybrid deck,
He's a 4-of.
He should be. I'm scared of what you can do with him, just because the fact that he gives you that a little bit of board clear that that usually Tommy hybrid misses, because they're good at stunning boards. They're good at keeping boards locked down, but sometimes if the board just builds too much, too big, or especially with newer effects where they don't care about needing to suspend or whatnot, because things like overclock and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That Daipenmon is so good for just clearing out those source stripped Digimon to just help with so many things.
I agree. I
Ice Clad is
wholeheartedly
huge.
agree. But we see you just go into a Millennium past turn, and I use my Uko to do a little bit more searching. I pick up a Korikaku, which I do like a lot here too. I've got pretty decent Tamer setup here. I'm just debating how I want to sequence my pitches if I do choose to do so. And here I think I'm starting to here I think in this game in particular I'm starting to think about what my pitches are going to be and what I actually need in hand versus in trash.
For everyone at home, these games are very much out of order. We played a lot of games that night when we were recording all these proxy matches. So, as we said in the last video, we're still learning stuff. We're still getting used to all the new sets, interactions, and everything. Yes, we had a solid mental on how they want to play to a degree, but actually playing it and doing it in the moment is a totally different thing, right? And you're kind of you're seeing us kind of learn as we go, which I think is kind of fun. I think that's cool.
But go ahead and actually just use the option here to go ahead and strip the machine source off of the Millennium. I have still kept turn, so I'll go Uko swings just to kind of get a chip in and draw. And then Emperor here can, in theory, attempt to punch at Millennium, but we just go into security instead. Because I think I was worried about you just spitting that boy back out again.
Yeah. which is fair. I mean, like, admittedly, if you just leave Millennium there, he's just kind of a big, like, big guy that doesn't really do too much.
Yeah.
I go into a Moon Millennium here. I'm able to trash 2 cards in your hand. This is the other thing to do that's really hard for this deck, which I don't think people realize is like, oh, well, Millenniummon can delete Tamers. Why aren't you doing that more, TJ? In case that's your question, in case you're wondering about that deck doesn't accrue hand size.
Nope.
That deck, almost every turn I asked Ben how big his hand size was, 6 cards. And if you don't know, Moon
like
Millennium only
best.
trashes till there's 5. Yeah, that was the one of the rare times you actually had like 7. And for those who don't know, Moon Millennium trashes until there are 5 cards left. And I only delete a Tamer for every 2 cards trashed by the effect. So I wouldn't trash enough to actually delete based off the effect. Now the other thing with Moon Millennium is that he does have some protections, which is pretty cool. Where when he would leave the battle area, I can just delete a Concentrate Digimon to say, hey, you don't leave. And then also when I delete a Digimon or a Tamer, I do trash top security, which that was me doing it right there. I do go ahead. I go into a Z Millenniummon here though, which does let me go ahead and I gotta double check the exact effect here, but it's on evo. I return 1 Digimon card from your trash to the top of your top of your deck, and then I return 1 of your Digimon to the bottom of the deck, which is just good. There's no level requirement, there's no play cost requirement, no DP requirement. It's just I do this one and then this one.
Yeah. Which is pretty good. But since Emperor was removed outside of my own effect or battle, I can just go ahead and slot those Koji boys out.
The new SR hybrids, dude, being able to spit Tamers back out when they would leave the battle area other than by your own effect is insane. By battle, by deletion, like it does give Source Strip a really good potential against these hybrid decks because it can just strip the hybrids out.
Yeah.
Like I'll be honest, as much as I hate Source Strip stun, I am excited to see what you do with your Tommy Hexa because it's gonna feel reminiscent of like a BT9 Ben. You do go ahead, you strip my sources.
We do Evo for the full cost of 5 here. Into the Emperor Gray, I'm allowed to swing, and I can restand. After I deleted a Digimon, I gain +1 check. And off of Takuya and Koji's inheritable, I can in theory go ahead and attack a player. We do that, do the 2 checks, and we call it a day.
Yep. So at this point, I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do. The hard thing is like I can't really clear, like, okay, like I can, you choke me to 1, which is really good, first of all. The second thing is that I do think that I probably went up into Millenniummon a bit early. I probably could have waited a bit longer. I do think that option card is slept on, by the way. That option card, I think, is actually real gas. Yeah. I think I do want to put more of that in the deck if I can try to mess around with some of my ratios. I have posted my list already in the Discord. If you're not in there, by the way, you should join our Discord. We have lots of cool stuff in there.
Yes, sir.
I do go ahead and drop that Millenniummon because that is the only, or that Chimera because that's the only composite trait card I had in trash. And then I end up turn overclock it to delete it, swing, pop your guy, or bot deck your guy, and then, you know, pass you to the memory, and then I just scoop because I was like, yeah, there's no blocker, I have nothing else I can do.
Fair. So we move on to game 3. But yeah, I am. It's nice just having new stuff to play with.
Oh, dude, yeah, absolutely. We were. It's the longest we've ever been in a meta, I think, still to this day, was BT13, because we were in BT13 for
a long time.
We were in there for a while. 4 months. I think we're in BT13 for
like
4
3
months.
to 4 months
it was a long
at
time.
least. Yeah.
It was a really, really long time. Before we got 14. And this was like a 2-month kind of thing. Like we had EX7, but EX7 like nothing's doing anything from EX7. It was like some fun decks that were cool for like the first week, and then after that, a lot of people were just like, okay, these decks are really bad. They make me feel bad. I don't want to play with these decks anymore.
So to start off things here, we have some pretty decent setup on both sides. You've got your Delta and Raising that you just pushed up. I hit a Nene out of security, so that plays for you, and I end up just setting up with a double Tamer to pass you over to 4.
Yeah. I think right now I was debating on swinging over your Flamemon. I was trying to see if I had a Deltamon to get rid of your guy.
Yeah.
I do go Chimera here. I Chimera. I opt not to pop.
And then you go Delta
Okay,
here.
go Delta. Yeah, to pitch one and then delete the flame.
Fair
So I
enough.
was like, I don't want to leave myself suspended for like any potential, shenanigans or whatnot. Even though I realize like, realistically, like Iceclad, like Daipen just deletes something with no sources, which like evoing into Kuma trashes 2. You swing with Tommy, you trash 1, and then yada yada. Like
You got the
it's
devil.
so good. Yeah.
So we do strip
Go
2
ahead,
off of
trash 2.
Chimera. Do the thing. So Kuma can swing. We'll proc Tommy's effect first, the strip. And then Kuma's effect will let me Digivolve into a hybrid trait for reduced cost of 1. So Daipen for 2. And we go ahead and check. He does die. But Tommy comes back out and we got rid of.
Because of the Kuma. Man, it's so crazy what those new hybrids do, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I am glad they pulled the reins back. Because
they could have made things really bad.
It could have definitely entered into like scary hybrid meta, but it is just a shame that like in my opinion, the tamers that don't gain you memory, the ones that just like me pitch a card to draw a card, those should have been 3 drops.
Yeah, I can see.
I don't think that all of the tamers should have been 4 drops. I think that those ones should have been 3 drops because they don't gain you any extra value back like the 4-drop tamers do. Like to me, I think a good rule of thumb is if the tamer gives you memory back to like a pretty good degree, make it a 4-drop. If the tamer is just like a consistency cycle or like something that like, like cross where like it tucks like pieces, something like that, yada yada, make it a 3-drop. That's, I don't know, maybe that's just like like that's how I look at it, like design philosophy wise. I feel like that would make sense to me.
But yeah, so I end up just setting up with an Uko and another Tommy. You asked how many cards in hand I have. I have like 6, I think 5 or 6 at that point. Another thing interesting too with the Kuma, now that you mention it, and kind of on the topic of source strip, right, is that these SR hybrids have to play out just a tamer from source, right?
Yeah.
So if you go into BT7 Tommy, you just play that bad boy out and strip another 3 sources. Like it's just constant strip.
It's scary. It's scary. I mean, the good thing is that they only spit out tamers with inherited effects.
Correct. Which BT7 still has.
So yeah. But I mean, like just in general, like just saying, like they can't like go too willy-nilly, crazy-wazy with it,
right?
And just do anything they want in the world.
Oh my!
Yeah, I do swing. I do check another Tommy, which is not great for me. Swing the Gizamon. He does unfortunately go bye-bye. At this point, I was trying to find. I couldn't find my other Chimera. I could not find my other Chimera for the life of me because if I could have, let me make sure I remember this correctly. But if I could have found the BT19 Chimera, I could have evoed into that, deleted the BT18 Chimera, to go ahead and, I mean, it doesn't really matter. I don't need to do anything. I don't need to delete anything, but just do that. And then BT18 Chimera is on deletion to pop the BT19 Chimera to go ahead and play out a Machine Dramon. And then, let me make sure I'm remembering this right.
While you remember your stuff, I'm just doing the little tucky tuck shenanigans from the double tamer here. I gained a memory off of the Tommies. And I'm debating playing the Susano option, which I end up doing. So I play the option down for 6. For those of you who don't know... Oh.
I had it backwards.
I can go ahead and tuck. We do need some clarification here. So if you guys know what the rules are... So I thought I could initially maybe tuck 2 Tommies and say one was blue, one was red. But we will clarify that if like Tommy has to be declared just as the one. Because there's no name restriction. Like it doesn't say, well, tamer's a different name. It just says 5 tamers. So it's just like, well, of different color. That's the biggest restriction.
Yeah. But you probably just declare the color for each tamer. So you probably declare one is blue, one is red.
Yeah. So in theory, like if I were to do that, I would have been like, well, I have 3, trash 3, recover 3, and swing for game.
Yeah. But,
which is the nasty part of this card.
The thing for me, I had it backwards, by the way. I would need to go into 18 Chimera, delete 19 Chimera. So I just had the wrong sort of setup, but you get the idea. But yeah, the idea is normally you want to go into 18 Chimera first, 19 Chimera to pop it, and then yada yada play out on a machine, and then you use 18 chimeras while it's in trash effect to go ahead and DNA. And at this point, I was pretty stuck. I was trying to think about what I could do.
Yeah, I mean, it's a rough spot to be in. Chimera into, looks like a machine here. Machine effect will de-digivolve, which will keep you turn, and I've just got a really big, thick Flamemon on the field.
Yeah.
He is 3k, though. He is boosted. No. Yeah, he is 3k. On my turn, he'd be 5k. Good guy. He still dies anyway.
You have to just go ahead and swing over him, yeah. And then I think I just evoed into a Millenniummon here.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and pop the Uko, drop for evo. And at this point, I was like, I have the redirect.
Yeah.
And I was just hoping that things would go okay. The video, unfortunately, does get cut off there. Our camera was having some issues. To resolve it, Ben then goes ahead and source strips me and swings for game with the combo to basically summarize what happened. So he does get it.
Yeah.
Which is how it goes. That's how it be. I was just a little bit too slow to set up, and I still need to learn the proper the way to combo it proper back and forth. It just kind of gets a little bit mixed up in my head because it's a lot of effects to resolve and chain together.
Yeah.
And it does take a little bit of setup, so it can be kind of hard to do.
Yeah. Agreed. But hopefully you guys enjoy this matchup, and hopefully you guys enjoy a little bit of this like sneak preview that we have of 2.0. If you guys have boxes, have already cracked boxes already, let us know what you guys pulled. You know, a lot of people have been saying, you know, for those who've gotten product already, that this is actually a pretty great set to open. And Bandai actually, for once, did like a really, really good job at sort of like distributing things and making things pretty nice and fair now that we do have a combined set. So a lot of folks have been super happy with their pulls. Let us know what you guys have pulled if you have. And hopefully your pre-release events or release events go well. And we'll see ya on that next video. Bye-bye.
Bye.